Welcome to episode 1 of the Hyrox Glasgow series. And if you're new here, I'm Blair. I'm an online coach that specializes in helping people build lean athletic bodies so they can do the stuff they want to do without second guessing themselves. Alright guys, so new series, Hyrox prep for Glasgow, as I kind of dropped a little hint at the end of the Aesthetic Athlete Cut series that wrapped up at the end of last year. I kind of have done the more aesthetic side of things. Now I want to at least bring this YouTube channel more around to the athletic side of things. So we're always aesthetic athlete, like I want to do both. I always want to look good but be able to perform well, right? Mix of both performance and physique. But I want to kind of rotate between and just show you guys how my goals change over the course of time. So obviously the goal was to get leaner before going away and just kind of ticking that aesthetic box that I wanted to tick. And now I've got the build up to Hyrox in Glasgow, which I believe is on the 3rd of March. So obviously training and goals have shifted towards slightly more up the spectrum towards the performance end, but we're still going to be taking care of the physique. So what I want to do in this episode is just talk you guys through my plan. So we are currently 8 weeks out from Hyrox Glasgow. So what I'm going to be doing over the next 8 weeks to give myself the best shot of doing the best I possibly can at Hyrox, but also making sure that I'm still training in a way that I enjoy training and keeping the rig up to scratch as to where I want it to be. And then likewise, just keeping me ticking over in other areas, because like my sole focus is not only Hyrox, right? Like I think if your only goal and your sole focus was to absolutely destroy Hyrox and do the best you possibly can, I actually wouldn't recommend what I'm about to talk you through, because there will be more Hyrox specific plans than this. But what I'm going to talk you through is what I'm doing. And for me, as I say, it's about balancing what I like doing, things that I know I'm going to be doing down the line in the future competition wise, which I'm sure will come up on YouTube eventually. And then also, as I say, the physique side of things as well. So for me, it's a bit of a mix mash of a few different things. So anyway, let me talk you through the plan. What we've got, so Hyrox Glasgow, for basically the next 8 weeks, my sessions are going to look, or my weeks of training are going to look something like this. So we're going to do 4 lifting sessions per week. And now these will probably just be the absolute typical 2 lower body sessions and 2 upper body sessions every single week. Now in those sessions, I probably will do some sort of like conditioner or finisher at the end of, maybe not all of them, but at the end of most of them, just because I like doing that way. And I also see, for me, that is a good opportunity to kind of take over on some of the skills that I'll want to keep going, things like toes to bar, bar muscle ups, and maybe some handstand stuff, things like that, just to kind of tick me over, that are definitely not appropriate and needed for Hyrox. But that's kind of what I mean, like this is why it's different for me, because my goals are beyond solely Hyrox. So that will be lifting sessions. I'm going to do 1 interval run per week, which this will very much be like threshold paces for me. So I'm trying to push myself to run as fast as I can for X distance. The distance will change, but they'll always be sort of in and around like 600 to maybe 1600 meters, because we know in Hyrox obviously we're going to be running 1 kilometer repeats with obviously all the bits and pieces in between. So you know, I'm not going to go and start trying to hit 5k PBs. I'd rather kind of focus more on closer to the distance of actual Hyrox. So they will be around about sort of 1k intervals, but we will kind of fluctuate as we go through the weeks and kind of build on the distance slightly in paces. I'll do 1 capacity session per week. And now the capacity session is is there to kind of get my body used to working for, you know, hopefully maximum 70 minutes on the day, but at a high rate for 70 minutes, right? So they're there so that I can actually practice and get my body used to the feeling of working, you know, pretty hard. We're talking like, you know, probably sitting around about zone 4 for most of it, for that length of time. So getting my body used to doing that. So these sessions will always be, you know, anywhere from sort of, I would say minimum 40 minutes long, but basically of pretty much continuous work up until, you know, at some points they might even be slightly longer, right up to about 80 minutes. Again, just to get my body used to working for that amount of time at that level of intensity. And then lastly, I will be doing 1 to 2 steady state runs per week. Right now, the steady state runs, these are literally like just pure base building, pure just getting me used to just running on foot for longer periods of time as well. There won't really be a specific goal in terms of trying to really max out and stick to certain paces with there. It'll very much just be, right, I'm just going to go and run for an hour and just kind of see how far I go, and just purely kind of base it off how I feel. If I feel good, then yeah, I might run a little bit faster, but if I'm feeling a bit shit or just not as great, then I'm just going to run at a pace that makes me feel like I can manage that pace for 60 minutes, because that's what the purpose of those sessions will be. And I will cover more on, you know, each of these individual aspects of the sessions as we go throughout the series. Today is very much just more of an overview of everything that I'm doing. So if we now take what I've talked you through in terms of my sessions and put it into the classic pyramid of, you know, the order of how you want to work on some of these things, just to give you an idea. So for me, the lifting and the steady state runs, these are very much the base of the pyramid. These are all about the base building, and you know that they will be the primary focus in week 1. So for me, weeks 1 to 3 is very much going to be about building a base and just accumulating volume through the steady state runs and through the lifting. Now, I'm in a position where, you know, obviously I've lifted quite a lot over the last few years, and I've also been running a decent amount fairly recently. So I feel as though my base is already there, but you're never gonna be at a disadvantage for continuing to build that base. So weeks 1 to 3 very much going to be about base building, focusing on making sure I'm probably getting the top end, the 2 steady state runs in per week, and then just getting all my lifting sessions done. Now, I see the lifting sessions as, you know, they will be there throughout the entire process, but for me, they're still going to be base building, right? Because I'm not necessarily going to be trying to, you know, max out on my strength. I'm not going to be doing like 1 rep max deadlifts or cleans or anything like that. It's going to be more based around, you know, making sure my strength is still there, strength endurance is there, but not necessarily looking to peak from a strength aspect. Moving on to the kind of middle section of the pyramid. So from here, we've kind of moved from that accumulation, that base building phase, up to more of an intensification thing. So this will be for me sort of weeks 3 through to week 6. I'll very much be focusing more on intensifying kind of what I'm already doing. And that's where the capacity sessions will start to kind of creep up a little bit more often. So whilst I'll still be doing all of these sessions throughout every single week, there will be more emphasis on certain sessions as we go throughout. So in the middle section here, week 3 to week 6, there'll be more emphasis on these capacity sessions that will help me, as I say, get my body used to working at a high rate for longer periods of time. And then as we get closer and closer and closer to the event, so sort of weeks 6 to week 8, so kind of 2-3 weeks out, I'll really be kind of looking to starting to peak, and then obviously ideally peaking at the very top the week of Hyrox itself. So that is kind of where, if we will think about the peak of the pyramid, there is where the interval runs are going to come in, because that's where I'm going to be working at like probably pretty much max effort for those distances, running as fast as I possibly can, with kind of probably pretty decent chunky size rest periods in there as well, to kind of practice that, you know, really high levels of fatigue and just seeing what I'm capable of on a sort of max out running set. And that means that as I go into Hyrox, I'll be kind of building my way up the pyramid here in terms of accumulation, intensification, and the peaking phase. But it's not like when I move from an accumulation to capacity, I then stop doing what I'm already doing. I'm just continuing to build on that on a weekly basis. And then, you know, the week of the event itself, week 9, obviously I will taper down into the event itself, make sure your nutrition's on point, and then go out and see what we're capable of. So that is pretty much the plan for between now and when Hyrox happens in terms of what my training is going to look like. So as I say, if you're wanting to do Hyrox and you're not sure how you should train for it, and you have similar goals to me, whereby, yeah, you want to do well at Hyrox, but you also have maybe other things you want to work on as well. You want to look good, you want to feel good, you maybe know that, you know, it's not the be all and end all for you, then this is how I recommend training for it. Whereas if your sole goal is to like win Hyrox, then I would say there's probably other options that are better suited to you. But this is what I'll be doing, and I'll be I'll be posting about it, I'll be documenting, is the word I'm looking for, about it on YouTube as we go through. But right now, we are about to go and do my very first capacity session of this training block. So you'll see that in a second, and I'll see you at the gym. All right, so we are here at the gym again, and we're going to do, as I said, the first capacity session of this whole Hyrox Glasgow block. So today we are going to do 5 rounds, 1 round every 10 minutes, right? So there is like a little bit of built-in rest here, but the idea is that the rest isn't going to be very long. It's maybe going to be 90-ish seconds per round, right? Each round is going to start with an 800-meter run, which from here, there's kind of a fairly convenient 400-meter loop you can do, so I'll just do 2 of those. So about 800-meter run, come back in, and then I'm going to do 15 burpees straight into 50 calories on an assault bike. So the whole idea and intention behind this session is like, I want to try and run relatively hard, so kind of like at a pace that I want to try and hold on race day. So it should be okay today because I'm getting the built-in rest into the workout, and you know, I'm not doing everything else all in between. So I'm going to try and run relatively hard at sort of race pace, and then I'm going to try and go straight into my burpees and get them done at a decent pace as well. When I get onto the assault bike, that is going to be, obviously it's not rest, but I'm going to try and do those 50 calories at a pace that is fairly sustainable for myself, but fast enough so that I finish each round, as I say, with about 90 seconds rest in there. So I'm working for, you know, a total of about 50 minutes with, you know, 90 seconds times 5 odd amount of rest throughout the workout. So again, just drilling that, working at sort of like low to medium zone 4 level for 50 odd minutes at a time, and just seeing how it feels. Only the first one of these. So I'm gonna get warmed up now. I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of core stuff to get warmed up, some side planks just to help. I tend to get sometimes a bit of a sore back, so I always like to work on that. So a bit of side planks, maybe a few Copenhagen planks, just get warmed up for the running, and then we'll get stuck in.
In me I trust, yeah I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gave no fucks, I ain't scared, man, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life.
Oh man, capacity session 1, done. Damn, that was good. I did 4 rounds in the end, not 5, because would have done 5, but it's now 12:15, and I have to be back home by about 15 minutes to get showered because I've got somebody come around to the flat. But 4 rounds it was. First round completed in 8 minutes bang on. The second round was 7:55. The third round was my fastest at 7:45, and the last round was 7:48. So pretty consistent, which is what we wanted. I was running about 3 minutes 40 per 800 meters ish. I actually think that's maybe a stretch longer than 800 meters. So 3 minutes 40 per run. That was about 50 odd seconds on the burpees every time, and then about literally bang on 3 minutes 20 on the bike each time. I was just trying to do 10 cals every 40 seconds, which is about 66, 67 RPM on that, and just kind of hold it for the whole time. But that was good. So capacity session 1 done. Each time we do one of these episodes, I'm going to try and do a slightly different session. So one of my running intervals, some of my lifting sessions, just to give you guys an idea as to what each one of them actually looks like. But yeah, if you're keen to follow along with the Hyrox journey and see how you get on, then make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video, share it with a friend who is also thinking about doing Hyrox or is doing Hyrox. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.